Hi guys, Colister here with another long play. A while ago, I did do a long play of the original Crash Bandicoot game in the Sane Trilogy. So, let's continue this long play series, shall we?
Activision presents a smashing blast from the past. Developed by Vicarious. It's Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
So, in this series of vids up ahead, I will be playing Cortex Strikes Back, the second game in the series originally released on the Sony PlayStation in 1997. This game introduced a lot of Crash's cooler abilities that he had in the series, like sliding and different stuff like those, that are essential to beat the game. I never properly played this game back on the PlayStation, unlike Warped and a little bit of the original, so I struggled in earlier playthroughs of this game on the Sane Trilogy here on the Nintendo Switch. I can play it acceptably now, though. Practice makes perfect, they say. This is the hardest game of the three, by far, though nowhere near as difficult as the new Crash Bandicoot 4 game. Believe me, that game wasn't very fun to play through for 100% completion. The story is what saves that game, in my opinion. So, Cortex falls after the events of the final battle from the first game.
Crystals, of course. No!
But Dr. Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slave crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any earthbound operatives left?
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we'll need to find an enemy.
Crash, Dad! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
That's Coco, Crash's adopted sister. This was originally her debut game. So, we're running through a tutorial stage here. I'm just gonna get through this quickly. Then as Crash is running through the jungle, upon Coco's request to get a battery for her, he gets abducted and sent to a warp room where, the events of the game truly begin.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome. I apologize for the crude means used to bring you here, but I'd rather expect a written invitation would have been turned down. I need your help. Surrounding you are a series of 5 doors. Through each door lies a well-hidden crystal. The crystals look like this. Bring me the crystals, Crash. That is all I will say for now. We will speak again.
You can play the levels in any order you want in each warp room. Just so you know, I'll start with Turtle Woods. If it wasn't for the hints that the game gives, I wouldn't have figured out how to get the color gems without looking help up on the internet, which I still had to do anyway for the secret exits. So first, we're gonna run through Turtle Woods without breaking a single box. slide and then spin or jump at the end of your slide to move faster. This is essential for the relic runs, which in this game and Sane Trilogy are not required. The turtles with spikes on the ends of their shell hurt you on contact, so jump on them rather than spinning them. Now, having said you have to not break any boxes, having that bouncy box stacked on that pile is kind of a troll in my opinion. There's the power crystal. Every level in this game ends with a gate like this, and the gem appears right there. Now we're going to purposely lose a stock. I just love how Crash's shoes have to fly off like that after he falls into a pit. That happens in the original PlayStation game as well. Just Naughty Dog having a twisted sense of humor, I guess. Then I respawn back to the beginning since I didn't have a checkpoint, and I can just play the whole stage from start to end without losing the crystal nor the blue gem. Saves me a few minutes. Alright, now we're gonna body slam this. After jumping on the spike end turtles, they overturn. Then you can spin them. Jump on the birds rather than spinning them. Spinning them doesn't do any good. No, I messed it up. Not to worry, master opponents can always improvise. Like this. Quickly slide and jump off of these birds as soon as you get to land on them. They will not get back up after they stick their heads in the ground. Then the green switch box detonates all the nitros at once. Here's a bonus path. I've seen people in long plays of the original PlayStation game jump along the edge of these spots where you have to spin out the rolls, and then, there's a very well hidden crate up there, just so you know. And then make the mushroom appear to jump out of them, would jump along the edges of them to cross them quickly. You can't do that in Sane Trilogy, unfortunately. Crash does his victory dance if you come back with a gem. You can cancel it by pressing triangle. X in my case, because I'm playing the Nintendo Switch version.
Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. The crystals are the only means of containing it. The fate of the world is at stake. It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
Are you there, Crash? Crash! Crash! Are you there, Crash? There, Crash?
Alright, we're gonna do Crash Dash next, because this one doesn't allow Aku protection. This is a boulder chase scene. Somewhat like the ones in the original game. Be careful not to touch these jump pads. They slow you down a lot. Wumpa fruit in a trial like this usually direct a safe path to get across scenes like those. Got a boring part here. At least those boxes require 5 bounces in a row to break them instead of 10. There are also boost pads. Use them wisely. They also remove the animation where Crash jumps and tumbles forward after you get to the end of each individual boulder run, which is probably good in my opinion. To get the clear gem, you have to break all the boxes.
So, you are helping Cortex gather crystals, yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser. Yes, a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he has created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering crystals.
I just love how Dr. Nitrous Brio acts like he's a good guy in this game. And yet, in Crash Bandicoot 4, he's still evil. You know what fan-favorite villain is a good guy now all of a sudden, though? Dingo Dial. I thought that was a nice plot twist. These snow levels are a pain. You have very poor mobility and movement along the ice. A problem which you gotta jump on this. Although I'm not somebody that particularly approves of seal clubbing, I gotta spin enemies that get in my way out of the way. This is a video game after all. Just be careful not to spin the penguins while they're spinning. Then there are these smashers, which you gotta slide to get across quickly. We'll worry about the red gem later. The log smashers come down at a rhythmic pace. The stone ones come down as soon as you go underneath them. Three down. We got another intermission up ahead.
Three crystals. Not bad. I see you are getting the hang of it. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you retrieve the fifth crystal.
Hang 8. Kinda like Hang 10, except the character has 4-fingered hands. If you've seen my DeviantArt, I always draw Crash with 5-fingered hands though, because I never thought 4-fingered human hands looked right to me. It makes sense for reptilian characters, in my opinion, like Bowser and stuff. Just, you know. Alright, so, first of all, notice the countdown in the lower right corner. We're gonna get through the rest of this part quickly with the jet board, and try to get to the end before that expires. If you do that, you get one of the gems. Alright, now we're gonna intentionally lose a stock here. So I can continue from the checkpoint and still get the gem for breaking all the boxes. Be careful around the whirlpools. You require the blue gem from Turtle Woods in order to get the box's gem and hang 8. Otherwise, this platform would not be accessible. I'm pretty sure the hippos sink if you stay standing on them. So, got some tricky box jumping here. You gotta be careful while jumping over Nitro, since they have a tendency to hop out of nowhere. It's like they have minds of their own. Do a speed thrust while going over the ramps in order to hit all the crates that they have above them. And make sure not to miss the Nitro Switch box. As always, if you get an Aku while you already have a double Aku, you get momentary invincibility. The saw blade turtles are safe to spin and not safe to bounce upon, inversely to the spike shell. If I remember right, and I do, this is as far up as you need to go from the checkpoint box. Then you need to go backwards. Go the other way. Now we gotta go this way again. That's as far down as we need to go. The only way to destroy locked boxes is a body slam. You also have to be careful about which one of these to jump on going backwards and forwards. Because if you jump on the bouncy box, leave it alone for a while, and come back to bounce on it again, it'll break with your next bounce. Making this very cleverly placed. Since bosses work a little differently in that you enter a warp room tunnel instead of using the elevator, they cut the Cortex intermission that follows your 5th crystal. So we're just gonna go straight to Ripperoo. The only boss that was also in the original game besides Cortex. You gotta watch out for his detonations. I'm pretty sure walking over these tiles while they're counting down alone does not detonate them. You just gotta avoid the explosions. The nitro tiles, though, do explode on contact with you, so... Gotta spin him while he's knocked out there. There you go.
I see that Ripperoo failed to prove much of a challenge yet again. But back to business. There are crystals to be gathered, 20 to be exact. The planets will align shortly, all 13 of them, and this will create a power great enough to rip the Earth apart. Properly utilized, however, the crystals can absorb and contain the energy.
Crash, is that you? I've been looking everywhere. I don't have much time to tell you this. You have to be careful. Trusting Cortex seems a little unwise, Crash. I can't keep the data path open much longer. Crash, you need to find...
So during the adventure, Coco manages to find where Crash is and gives him support to warn him that Cortex might be, and is, in fact, manipulating him. We're going to air Crash first for a secret exit. It is believed that Coco was created to replace Tana from the original game, because Universal absolutely hated Tana as a character. They didn't like how she was a sexy type. So Coco, a more SFW character, was made to replace her. Which kind of makes sense. So, you know. Despite this, I've always had respect for Coco, so whatever. So if you jump on the platform I just landed on an air crash, you get taken to the secret sub-floor, where, you activate a portal that can take you to where you need to go in Snow Go to get the red gem. The porcupines will activate their quills and damage you on contact if you're not quick to spin them. If that happens, just stay out of their way until they, you know, until it closes. I'm gonna have to do it the long way. So now the first warp room is properly completed. We got some more snow torture up ahead with Snow Biz. This one requires the red gem in order to get Xbox's gem. Get some invincibility power here. There's a switch box above these. In my opinion, that's a pretty unfair placement in Nitro boxes. You can slide and go back upward if you miss these boxes on your way down. And in this game, in the Sane Trilogy, there's also a glitch where, after returning from a certain place, the Wumpa Fruit and extra lives will turn invisible. Effective until you lose a stock or reset the level. That's not such a big deal compared to some of the glitches that the Spyro games in Reignited Trilogy have, especially Year of the Dragon. Like I complained about before, and I'm sure a lot of others as well, Spyro Reignited Trilogy was a rushed game, and you can tell that it was. The game's great, it just has a lot of glitches in Year of the Dragon. That's all. Whereas Sane Trilogy is sorted out for the most part, with like one minor glitch that often happens. Cannot get the gem for getting all of the boxes in Air Crash until the next warp room. So I'm just gonna get the crystal and the gem for making it to the Death Route's end. You can spin the piranhas as they're leaping out of the water, just so you know. I like how in Sane Trilogy, the columns that emerge and sink in the water shake a little bit after the midpoint of coming up to give you a better idea on their alert to go back down the water, making it a little easier to cross than the original PlayStation game. The death platform will not be available if you lose any stocks coming up to it during a play. So if you die during the level, you have to restart it and try again. Gotta be careful around the hippo. Did you notice that the water was bubbling at the tip of the hippo's tail? Crude. I'm just gonna cut through the nitros because I have Aku. And you can't use Aku in the next level. I'm gonna play from here anyway. Bear It, the first level where we have to dash on Polar, the polar bear cub. I had some screw-ups here, so, forgive me for those. If you miss a box, just purposely lose a stock and try again from the checkpoint, because you cannot go backwards. I'm gonna cut out a bit of a struggle up ahead. Right here. These ones basically require memorization from previous playthroughs. If you give 10 jumps in a row onto Polar outside of the Barrett Gate, you get 10 extra lives, also. I I still find bouncing on your own pet to be a little harsh, though. You have to slide to get underneath the electric gates. A well-aimed slide and jump will get you under those. You have to break these boxes yourself. The boulder doesn't reach them. A problem which one of them is a lockbox. And the controls to body slam it doesn't always register. At least for me. The Eel Deal is where you get the green gem. It says it's behind the fake wall. So, here we go. Spin these droids into the fan blades to break them and cut a path. Besides the sewerage water slowing you down inside of it unless you jump, most of them have eels in them that'll electrify the water. Bounce on these rather than spin them. This is the fake wall you go through for the green gem. Here it is. I just love how the sewer levels have to have a checkpoint box right where the bonus platform is, even though bonus rounds act as checkpoints after you complete them. And to get past those with no occu protection and no enemies to spin into them is a little hard, huh? The barrels will also damage you.
Of 25 crystals. You're on your way. I'm running low on power, so communication from this point will be difficult.
Again, be wary of the pathways between warp routes.
Remember, I'm counting on you.
They cut that part out because of how differently the boss rooms work in Sane Trilogy. So now we got Komodo Joe and Komodo Mo, the Komodo Brothers. These guys are easy. Just stay away from Joe as he's spinning, and then spin him once he stops. And they'll bash each other. Then Komodo Mo will throw blades around the arena. Just stay out of their way until they get back up. Mo will attack you with his sword if you come up close to him, so try to avoid that. There. On the third phase, Mo will actually throw a blade at you while Joe is spinning. So you have to keep moving. Otherwise, they're not hard.
Show, Crash. The Komodo Brothers obviously lacked your mettle. But now's not the time to get cocky. There are still many crystals to obtain. Remember, the world is counting on you.
Alright, so that's gonna wrap up the first part of this playthrough series. I will come back very shortly with the next part where I'll play the game for about another hour. Till then, I am Crowlister, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next upload. Bye.